How you get so much favor on your side? Accept them as your Lord and Savior.
Hey y'all. If you're new to my channel, Holloway Hollywood and Harvard, like and subscribe. Lately I've been talking about being an entrepreneur, going back to a 9-to-5, and so I've just kind of been sharing some insight on what it looks like. This is not my first time around. Hopefully this is my last time around. But one thing I will say is never say never. Never say never. Never say what you're not ever gonna do. Okay? Because you just never know when you're gonna be in that situation. I was just thinking about a conversation I had with someone a few months ago. They mentioned they were looking for like a second job or a side gig or something like that. And I mentioned something and they were like, oh, I could never do that. And I just remember thinking like, wow, I used to think like that. You know, this is someone, you know, I have a business degree and corporate background, used to making pretty good money. And since I've been on this entrepreneurial ride, you know, there have been times where I've taken jobs that paid less just so I had more flexibility, or there was an instance, and I talk about this actually in my podcast Cross, so if you have not listened to it yet, it's a scripted podcast about my journey from when I quit my 9-to-5 back in the pandemic. And it's just been my journey with God, and it's been a miraculous journey. There's been challenges, there's been good, bad, ugly. I don't think I got to the ugly yet in the season 1 that we're in now, but go check it out. It's called Cross. Anyway, in that I talk about how I went to go buy a car. I think it was in 2017. I went to go buy, or maybe it was 2018. I don't know. It was a the car that I bought, it was a 2018 Nissan Altima. 2018. I don't know why I thought it was older. I don't know. It was a year or two old. Yeah, so I bought this car cash, thinking I was doing something, you know, thinking I was cute. And the finance guy was like, because the car was a couple years old, he was like, are you going to be driving Uber or Lyft with this car? And my reaction was like, what? Rideshare? Uber, Lyft? What? No. Well, and the reason he asked me was because I was living in Vegas at the time. It was really hot, and that car has a tendency to have transmission issues after it gets to a certain amount of mileage, with the combination of the excessive heat of Las Vegas. And so I was like, no. Well, I lost my job like a month or two later. And at the time I was in network marketing, and a lot of people that I knew were doing like Lyft and Uber. So I was just like, well, we here. I gotta pay my rent. At that time I had downsized my life. I was paying rent instead of a mortgage and all those things. So I did what I had to do. And I say never because God has a way of humbling you multiple times. I'm back in the rat race. I hate saying that, the rat race. I'm back working in a 9-to-5, and I find myself, though humbled, right? I find myself looking around and I'm like, okay, I know why I'm here. You can be so distracted by how it looks. You can be distracted by the fact that you even have to go back to work, or you can be so distracted that you don't see the reason why you're in the position that you're in. And if you are so distracted, you can't, in this instance, I'm gonna just bring you along on how me and God kind of communicate, and how he places me in instances so that I can learn, so that the businesses that he has me build are different from the crap that I experience as a humble servant in, I'm not going to say the rat race, but in a 9-to-5 job. Like, I'm at this job. I'm working, I just finished a 9-day stretch, like last week. And that's a whole nother topic. Having to choose between your religious beliefs, because I observe the Sabbath on Sunday. Having to choose between work and that's a whole nother, we're going to get into that. But one of the reasons why I'm back here is because of one of the businesses that I'm building, and it's huge. It's not a small business. And so I find myself here like, oh, I would never treat my employees like this. I would never talk to my employees like this. I would never do XYZ. Like, it's like, if you focus so much on what you would never do, you will never be put in a position for God to use you. Point blank, period. If you are one of those who say, okay, God, I surrender my life, use me. First of all, be careful what you ask for. No, I'm playing. It is rewarding. But at the same time, if you're truly about that Christian life and you understand that your life is not your own, you will be open. You have to put your pride aside and just truly understand your assignment, truly see what God wants you to see in those humble moments, because you just got to remember it's not about you. And if you're one of those that say, well, I would never do never, when you feel the nudge to downsize or downgrade in society's eyes, because typically the way God does it, like, if he's quote unquote downgrading you, it's only to upgrade you later. But saying all of that to say, just never say never. And it has nothing to do with, it's not only because you never know you might have to do that thing that you say you would never do, but 9 times out of 10 it's because the thing God wants you to do that you think you're too good to do is actually because you're going to end up helping somebody else. So, never say never.
Come again.